Hello everyone, welcome back to my Corrplot video tutorials. Today I'm going to show you how to change the color spectrum, color legend, and text legend on your Corrplot. First, let's have a look at the color spectrum. Corrplot uses the color spectrum from the R-Color Brewer package, so we can load the R-Color Brewer package and have a look at the color spectrum in this package. So let's load the package and have a look at the color spectrum. We can zoom in. You can see there are three types color spectrum in the R-Color Brewer package. The first one is sequential. You can see in the sequential color spectrum, for example, the first one, you can see the color gradually changed from yellow, orange to red. So the second one is the quantitative spectrum. So we are not going to use the quantitative spectrum in the Corrplot package. And we also use the third one, the diverging color spectrum. So you can see in the diverging color spectrum, if you set a middle color, for example, this one is red, yellow, and green, the middle color will be yellow. Then for the positive values will be yellow gradually change to green. For the negative values will be yellow gradually change to red. If you just set two colors here, for example, here is the red and blue, the middle one will be white. So you can see from the three types of color spectrum, we use the sequential and the diverging color spectrum in the Corrplot package. So we use the sequential color spectrum as color 1 to show non-negative and non-positive matrix. Then we use the diverging color spectrum as color 2 to show the matrices that are partially positive and partially negative. So from the color list here, you can choose one of your favorite color for your plot. And also you can set a number for your color changes. For example, here we use 200. So now we can use the color spectrum for the Corrplot. So first, let's have a look at the default settings. If we just use the Corrplot with the data frame M, so we will use the default setting. So you know already the default setting, we have the red and the blue color. And also in the default setting, the argument is .core. We set it as true. So let's run the default settings. You can see we use the red to blue color because this data frame has both negative and positive correlation values. So we need to set the color argument as color 2. We can also set it as blue and red. When we produce a Corrplot, the color will be the same as the default settings. Let's run. You can see no changes for the plot. If you want to change the color for the default setting, you can change it to another color. For example, we can use the color argument with the color 2 for this data set. We can use the color purple and orange. Let's run this code. You can see we change the color from orange to white as negative correlation value, and from white to purple to show the positive correlation value. As I said, this data set has both positive and negative values. If we set the is.core equals false, we cannot change the color spectrum. If we run, You can see we still use the default color, red and blue, but you will realize the difference is the color legend. Now it's not from -1 to 1. Now it is from the lowest value, -0.8 to 1. We can change all the negative values to positive values for the dataset, and we set the is call equals false again. You will see the changes. Let's run. Now you can see, because we don't have negative values here anymore, then the package uses default setting for the sequential color spectrum. You can see from the color legend, it is from 0.06 to 1, and the default setting for sequential color spectrum is yellow, orange to brown. If you don't like this color, you can change it. Use the color 1 argument. For example, we can set it as red. Let's run. You can see we changed the sequential color spectrum from the default setting to red colors. So I showed you how to use the argument color 1 and color 2 to change the color spectrum in the Corrplot. Next, we can have a look at the color name. The color name argument sets up the limits for the lower value and the upper value to assign the colors by the color argument we set in color 1 or color 2. So by default, the lower limit is -1 and the upper limit is 1. You saw it already, but we can run it again. You can see here is the color legend, and the lower limit is -1 and the upper limit is 1. If we set the is.call equals false, then the package will choose the minimum value and the maximum value for the lower and upper limit. If we run the Corrplot and set the is.call equals false, let's run. You can see the lower limit value changed to -0.87 and the upper value is still 1. We can use the color name argument to change the lower and upper values. For example, we can half the values in this dataset by dividing all the values with 2. Then we can set the lower limit value as -0.5 and the upper limit value as 0.5. We can run the Corrplot again. You can see now the values change from -0.5 to 0.5, and also you can see the color changes. So I showed you how to change the color limits. Now I can show you how to change the color legend position. We use color dot position to set the position for the color legend. If we set the color position argument as R means right, you will see this is the default setting as well. We will put the color legend on the right hand side of the plot. You can see it is on the right hand side. If we set it as B means bottom, we will put the color legend at the bottom of the plot. If we set it as N means don't draw the color label, so the plot will not show the color legend. You can see we don't have the color legend in the plot anymore. You can also use the color ratio argument to define the width of the color legend. So the package suggests us to use 0.1 to 0.2 for the width of the color legend. For example, we can set it as 0.2. The default setting is 0.15, So let's run. You can see the width of the color legend is a little bit wider than the default settings now because we set it as 0.2. So I showed you how to set the color spectrum and change the position of the color legend. Now we can start to talk about the text legend. So we can use TL dot plus something to change the text legend. For example, we can change the position. We can use the TL dot position. The text position, the default setting will be left and top. We can set it as L and T. Let's run. You can see now we generated a plot as the default settings. If we set the text position as L, it only shows the position on the left-hand side. You can see we don't have the text labeling on the top anymore. If we set it as D, D means diagonal, we will plot the text label in the diagonal box. Let's run. You can see we don't have the text on the top left. Now the text is in the diagonal boxes. Because we have the lower and upper part of the plot, if we only plot the lower and the upper plot, we can set the text position as well. For example, in this one, we are going to demonstrate the lower part of the plot. We can set the text position as left and diagonal. Let's run. You can see we only show the lower part of the plot. The text position is on the left and diagonal. If we plot the upper part, we can set the text position as the top and the diagonal. So here should be top and diagonal. Let's run. You can see now we plot the upper part of the plot. The text position is on the top and the diagonal. Similar to the color legend, if we set the text position as N, then we don't add the text labels. Let's run. You can see we don't have text labels on the plot anymore. You already see in Notso package we use the CEX to set the size of the text. So we can use TL.CEX argument in the Corrplot to set the size of the text labeling. The default setting is 0.8. For example, here we can change it to 0.9. You can see we show the text labeling just a little bit bigger than the default settings. So here we use the red color for the text labeling. If you want to use other colors, for example, we can change it to black color. Then we use the text.color argument to change the default settings. The default setting is red, so we change it to black now, and we only plot the lower part of the plot. Let's run. You can see now we show the lower part of the plot, and also the text color changed from the default setting red to black now. So you can see here the text is vertical for the diagonal position. We can use TL.SRT argument to rotate the text. For example, here we can rotate it in 45 degrees. Let's run. You can see we go back to the default color red, but we rotated the text in the diagonal box in 45 degrees. Finally, I want to show you one more argument, add cofactor.color argument. So using this argument, we can add the cofactors value on the plot, and also we can set the color for the values. For example, here we can set the color as black. Let's run. You can see we generate the plot and add the two effectors value on the plot. We can zoom in to see more clear for the values. You can see we added the value in each grid and the color for the value is black. Okay, that's it for today's demonstration. In my next video tutorial, I will show you how to plot the p-values using the Corrplot package. So please subscribe my channel if you haven't to do so. Thank you and see you in my next video tutorial.